But I guess the media, it seems like it's mostly there to satisfy what the public wants. What do you think the public really wants, the Taiwanese public compared to the foreign public? What they care the most? Do you think it's the same across the board? People just really want to know more about personal things, about the celebrities or mistakes that you make, those are things that stand out?
Well, Taiwanese people is no different from people in other places or countries. So I think that the same, those issues that people would like to know more about it. But I believe that also Taiwanese people would like to know more about what happened in the society, and also what the government decision and policy to deal with us, and what would be the probably the positive or negative impact of those policies, and sometimes probably what would be the problem or questions of those policies. So I think that it's indeed media has the power. Media indeed has the power to monitor and to criticize the government's behavior and policy. I think this is a very important part of the media. I think that, but that part can only be sustained and only be appreciated through a very in-depth analysis and reports of those policy content.
Okay. I understand that I read somewhere that you want the media to cover international reports, but even more so on positive local news. Now, do you not think, well, maybe you do, I don't even know how accurate this is now, that international coverage is just as important or even equally important as local news? Because I'm thinking that Taiwanese people, most of the people in Taiwan have never traveled abroad, so they are unaware of things happening outside of Taiwan. But you think they're equally important, international news and, well, positive local news?
Well, as a matter of fact, actually in 2004, I myself actually work as a news anchor and commentator in the public television for about 6 months, and reporting and analyzing international news. And I did not quit because that was too much of a burden for me at that time when I was a full-time professor. So, but indeed, I think that, because look at Taiwan, as a matter of fact, we don't have much resources, and only 23 million people here, okay? But we're a major economy in the world. How can we, come up with this kind of achievement, like we have today? It's all because we work hard, and also we try to promote trade and try to make a linkage with the chain of production of those major trading companies and countries. Okay, so this is important for Taiwan because quite the important substantive percentage of GDP of Taiwan's GDP depending upon our trade with other countries. So. Put another way, Taiwan is in fact actually very much of a country who would like to embed it with what happened of the international society, international community. We have to learn more. We have to catch up with the tempo, with the changes of the world affairs. So without any substantive proportion of report or coverage of international news, how can we public our students catch up with what happened in the world? Well, you can probably tell me that there's internet, but people would like to sit down and watch TV and learn more about those reports. So I do think that international news is a very important part, and this is really good for Taiwanese people. And hope that more international news can be reported.
Yes, I would give that suggestion because I think there's probably a little too much of a local, societal kind of news being reported on our TVs. But
yes, you're right.
Yeah. Well, I understand that the GIO, the Government Information Office, is going to be disbanded, and you're actually the last one to hold this role of the minister of this office. What do you hope to accomplish? What legacy do you hope to leave with?
Well, whenever I come to this question, I feel a little bit sad, as a matter of fact, actually, that. But this is something have been done, and because the government need to be, to be lean and to be effective, and a lot of agencies and the governmental offices actually need to, to dissolve and to make the size a little bit smaller. And the government decided that to dissolve the GIO. So even though that with a very good track record in the past, so my job here is try to make sure the process smooth as possible, and also try to encourage the morale and also encourage our colleagues to work harder to prove that their capability and their value, be further appreciated when they were, relocated in the new ministry. So I think that what we have done in the past, whether it's about international campaign of understanding of Taiwan or domestic campaign of our policy, or about some cultural related activities like music or television, I think that those areas be very much appreciated by the society, and I think that the GIO colleague can work harder and can be performed better in a new environment.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, Minister Yang.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. And it's been great learning a lot of things from you. And good luck in the remaining time that you have here before the Government Information Office disbands. So good luck. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching, people. I'm Shirley Lin.